Hi, I'm Ezra Sidron, and today we're going to take you through all the steps you need to create your own scenarios for the General Staff Black Powder Wargaming system. Now, first off, all you early backers should have received an email from us with your Steam key to download the General Staff Black Powder Battle Designer bundle. If you have not received this, please send an email to the address, which should be flashing on the screen. I'll get around to that in post, hopefully. We've noticed that some of our customers or early backers that have Gmail kind of send our stuff over to the spam folder. But anyway, check your spam folder, send us an email if you haven't got it, we'll get you straightened out, we'll get you a Steam key. Now, one of the things I asked for of our early backers is if somebody would please suggest a scenario, a battle that they would like created. And Gary sent me an email. He suggested the Battle of Brandy Station, which was the largest cavalry battle ever took place in North America, and it happened in the American Civil War at the beginning of the Gettysburg Campaign. So Gary was good enough to send me an order of battle table and also a really good map that came from the Library of Congress to work with. So this is how we do it. We're going to start off by clicking on the General Staff Army Editor. And here's the Army Editor. You guys should be familiar with this. And I'm going to go to Gary's email. And I'm just going to start copying and pasting into the Army Editor, because that's how this works. Boom. Just like that. We've got the Army of the Potomac Cavalry Corps. And we're going to, put a little comment down here. And this is for the Battle of Brandy Station, and then that'll appear later when we need to know. Going back to Gary's email, we're going to copy and paste the commander into the order of battle table. Boom. And Pleasanton was a pretty good commander, not one of the greats, but still pretty good, certainly competent. Let's give him an 80. Strength, this is for the headquarters company. It probably includes a company or two of cavalry. Let's keep it at 100. Next, we're going to add a subordinate unit. We just come down here to the bottom, click Add Subordinate. Go back to the order of battle table that was sent to us, and we see 1st Cavalry Division, Brigadier General John Buford. Copy that. Let's go back to the Army Editor. And I think just for, even though it all fits in there, let's just shorten this up a little bit. I think it'll look better in the actual game. So we'll probably go 1st Cavalry Division. And Buford was a very good commander, and we'll give him about 83. And then we'll add a subordinate to that. And we'll go back to our order of battle table. And we have the 1st Brigade, and also has the number of troops we need. Also has some artillery. So we'll start off, we'll just call this 1st Brigade. And Colonel Benjamin Franklin Davis. I love these Civil War names. I do. And we'll go back to the order of battle table. And back from Gary, we know the actual strength, 1,700. Put that in right here. We know this is a cavalry unit. Just click on that little pop-down menu. Can they skirmish? Yes, it's optional. Game strength. Now this is an idea that we haven't fully implemented yet. The idea is to create kind of an introductory simple war game that we can use to hopefully get new people involved in wargaming, hopefully younger people too. So for now, let's just put the number 4 in here. I'll show you how, I'll probably cut in and show you how this looks in the actual battle. Shooting effect. This is the multiplier for every person in this unit. So if we have 1 infantryman as a value of 1, what is the value of a cavalryman and a horse with a carbine and a saber? I'm going to say 1.7. First shot bonus, yes, that has to do with the gunpowder and the smoke. Range, we're going to give them a range of 100. You can select the accuracy. This will be musket rifle or pistol. You can draw your own too. Ammunition 30. Reload time is 30 seconds. Close combat value, will give that a 1.7 as well. Leadership. I don't know anything at all about this commander. Let's give him 74. The quality of the troops. I have no idea on the morale. So again, I do not want to get into arguments about what the leadership, quality, and morale for a specific unit was. If you guys have better information and you've done your research, you adjust the leadership, quality, and morale values to what you want. Okay, next we know we need to add some artillery to this brigade, so we're going to add another subordinate. And we're going to go back to Gary's Order of Battle table, and what we got is the 2nd U.S. Horse Artillery Batteries B and L. So we're going to go back to our Order of Battle. We're going to put those in. And 2nd U.S. Horse Artillery. Again, there's room for all this. I'm just trying to clean it up a little bit. And do we have a value, a unit strength for that? 106 men. Thank you, Gary. I'll tell you, this is actually the hardest thing is, and here we go, horse artillery, click. Skirmishing never, game strength 1, shooting effect. I've been using 7.5 is a very good number for artillery, American Civil War artillery. Range is about 750 meters. Accuracy is cannon. Ammunition, 50 rounds. Reload about 30 seconds. Close combat is a 1. Actually, even less than 1. I think we could probably do 0.7. Leadership, again, I have no idea, so there we go. Now we've got the horse artillery for that brigade. After the obligatory robocall, selling me something I don't want or need or probably even exists, we're back to creating order of battle tables. So now I'm going to show you how to do copy and paste. So we've already created this unit, and we're going to use it as a template to create more units in the order of battle table. So first we're going to create another subordinate unit, bonk, and then we're going to come down here. We're going to use this as our copy. We're going to click on the clipboard, and then we're going to click here, and we're going to say paste, and boom, it copies everything. There's also an option you can click copy names, not copy names, whatever you want. So let's go back to Gary's Order of Battle table, and it's the 2nd Brigade, which is Colonel Thomas Casimir Devon. Wow, I never knew Devon's middle name was Casimir. So we'll just put that in there, and then 2nd Brigade. And how many troops does he have? 774. Again, thank you for doing all this research. So that's not as big as this guy. We're going to give him 3. And I don't know, we'll just sort of randomly move this stuff around a bit. I don't know. There. Unhighlight that. And there we go again. So we've building out our order of battle tables. What's next? We've got a reserve brigade with 4th U.S. Horse Artillery Battery E. Again, the same sort of 3-inch ordnance cannons. Reserve brigade. Come back to here, add another subordinate. And yeah, we'll just copy and paste that too. Click there, paste it in. And what do we have for strength for him? 1935. And that's all there's to it. We got another artillery unit, right? Yep. So again, we'll just come up here, make another subordinate. This time, instead of using the infantry or the cavalry as a template, we'll be copying from this one, and we'll be pasting it in. And there it is, bing. And Reserve Brigade. Battery E, 66 men. We'll just abbreviate that. That's it. Now we've already completed the entire 1st Division. So I'm just going to save this. I don't even know what name we want to save it as because we put it up at the top. Okay, so now we're going to just finish this up by copying and pasting. We're going to add another subunit to Pleasanton here. We'll just add a subunit. Boom. And this will be the 2nd Division. And we'll go back to Gary's order of battle table. And here's the 2nd Cavalry Division with Colonel Alfred Napoleon Alexander Dufy. I have finished up the Army of the Potomac Cavalry Corps. Here it is. And then just using cut and paste like I showed you before. And then, believe it or not, while I was on hold for tech support, I did the Confederate side as well. So that's Army of Northern Virginia Cavalry Corps. This is why we have Battle of Brandy Station, so you know what scenario that this order of battle table is for. And boom, here's Stuart, and here's all his cavalry, and here's his horse artillery down here. And again, it took me, I finished this faster than the tech support call. I'm still waiting for tech support to call back. So it took maybe 20-25 minutes to do both of these order of battle tables. Again, if you have any questions, any problems, shoot me an email, and that's support@riverviewai.com, and it's flashing up there somewhere, I hope, in post, right? Okay. Next, we're going to be working on the map editor. Right, yeah, that's what we got to do next. We got to do the map editor next. So yesterday we used the Army editor to create order of battle tables for the Union and Confederate sides at the Battle of Brandy Station. And the next thing we need to do is to actually create the map for the Battle of Brandy Station. Luckily, Gary, who suggested doing Brandy Station, downloaded a map from the Library of Congress and already cleaned it up. So let's start. We'll click on the map editor. And welcome, Frank. Hi, Frank. I'm going to turn off the grid, so we can just do that. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to load the background. Frankie! Okay. And here's the map. So this came from the Library of Congress. Library of Congress is an absolutely great source for American Civil War battle maps. I strongly recommend it, and it's free, and they're all public domain too. So now that we got the map up in the background, as I said, Gary made this map, cleaned it up, that took the positions of the troops off. That's the tricky part. And once you got that, then we're pretty good. So we're going to give it a name. So now we got the map, we can start adding things, we can start drawing things. It's pretty simple. I have to confess, I'm not a very good artist. Let's start with the forests. By the way, the map editor supports a digital tablet and pen. I'm terrible with all that stuff, but Ed Eisenberg and Ed Kurt, who both worked on maps for me, are very good with those tools. So I'm going to start off by just outlining where I want this map, where this woods. I've already clicked on forest. And I want to put down the forest first because I'm going to put the roads that go through it later. Boom, that's all there's to it. You've got some options here if you want trees or if you don't want trees. You can click on this and then right click on it, and we can say make it transparent or make it green as it is there, and remove the trees and make that effect, whatever you want. These are all built right in. Now we still got the forest tool, so I'll do some more forest drawing. Again, I want to really confirm I'm terrible with this. There's another one. Same thing. I'm going to later on take the trees out of that. Oop, that's a terrible forest there. So to delete, see, you can see we call this marching ants. You can see the unit that's highlighted, and we're just going to click on that and delete it. And I'll try to draw again because I'm really terrible at this. Okay, so I fast forward here and I drew in all the woods. It only took a couple minutes. And I decided the trees looked better, so I put the trees back in. And next thing I'm going to do is, let's add some rivers. Let's add some water. Here's some rivers. Now, again, when you have a digitizing tablet, it is so easy to do rivers because all you have to do is just press down harder and it makes it thicker. But there's the rivers, there's the first one, I guess that's the Rappahannock probably. So now we got the rivers in. Next step, what should we do next? Let's start putting some hills in. Now, there are 3 different ways to add elevation to one of our maps. You can do it via contour lines, which is what I'm going to do here. We can import elevation maps, and we can also use elevation shape tools. But we're going to do just contours here because this is a pretty simple map and we can get away with just doing contours. So I'm going to start by just drawing some concentric contour lines. Again, I'm apologizing for not being a particularly good artist at all. And then on our next tab, we'll click over to Edit Terrain. And the highest elevation, I'm just going to make it 60 meters. And the next ring will be 40, and the next ring will be 20. And it's important that the smallest elevation is actually on the top. So by clicking here, you can move terrain objects up and down. Remember, this is kind of a hierarchical level. And whatever's on the top gets drawn first. So here is our import elevation, grayscale elevation tab. We're going to be importing from the contour lines we just drew, not a picture. That's the other way of doing it. The default elevation is going to be 0. We're going to blur because that just makes everything look a lot better, as you'll see. And then we'll calculate it, and then we'll save it, and then we'll just check out this elevation. So here's the elevation as we're moving along. You can see in the upper left-hand corner. And now it goes up 19, and you can see how it gradually moves up all the way. And that's all there's to it. That's how you make elevation. That's the easy peasy way of doing elevation. Okay, so I've added the rest of the hills here, and again, I apologize for not being a particularly good artist, but using the contours is pretty simple, and then using the same techniques that I showed you previously, just made all these wonderful hills. Now, here, there's an interesting little effect, and we put in the sloping, and yeah, I know, it's just too cool for words, isn't it? So we've got all our hills in, we've got our woods, we've got our roads in. The only thing left to do is to add some special places. And unfortunately, I don't really know enough about this battle. Give me 30 seconds here. I'm going to sign off. I'm going to find some important places in this battle, and then I'm going to put some special places in and save this, and we're ready to go. I took a quick look at a battlefield map, and some of the places on this map are kind of obvious. Let's start with, we just click on place, and then we can click right here, and that is going to be Brandy Station. And here we go. So Brandy Station, just type it in, and we're going to say it's worth, I don't know, 25 points. And we click here to see who belongs to, blue, red, or we're going to use yellow for neutral for the moment. And then that's it. That's all we got to do. So this looks pretty important. We'll click there. And when you click on a place, it first says unknown. So then you come down to this tab and you say Fleetwood Hill. Again, looks pretty important. We'll make that 20 points. And we'll assign that to red, because red starts off with that. I'm pretty much finished up with this map. I would do more if I knew more about the battle, but I don't. So I'm just going to give you a quick little tour of the map editor. From the first tab, this is where you enter the name of the map. It's also going to be the name of the file save, any description you want here. This is for printing these maps out in high resolution. Under File, you have Load Background. Now remember, the map itself that we're looking at, that's the background. Load Custom Resources, that is for another method of importing roads and rivers and elevation. I'll show you how to do that on another tutorial. Same Import Custom Paths. That's how I normally make roads, because I can't draw very well. Preferences, this is the ever popular Victorian fancier plain styling that's throughout this. Now remember, we're using all kinds of different layers, and this is a pretty good example. I'll be able to show you how all these different layers. So I guess we'll start by just turning all the layers off. So here we have just an absolute blank map. This is the background map, and this is the map that Gary sent me. This map is for us humans, because the computer doesn't care about this map at all. Next, we have the elevation map. Now, we created the elevation map, as you saw earlier, using those tools, and we can turn this up or down any way we want. And then there's the slope, which is a nice little effect that Andy O'Neill created. And this allows, well, it just does this 3D slope effect that looks wonderful. And then there's the terrain. The terrain is the obviously the roads, the woods, water, stuff like that. And then the places are the place names I just created. We also can turn on a compass rose up in the upper right-hand corner, and you can just by clicking on it and scrolling on it, you can turn it left or scroll around. And this is very cool. This is the terrain visualizer. Let's turn the background back on first. Here's the terrain visualizer. And literally we're just going to, this is what the terrain looks like. It just, as we just draw this line around, and it literally shows you the cross section of the terrain. Pretty cool, huh? So we'll turn that off. Oh, ground scale. I forgot to set the ground scale. Let's see if I can find some distances on a map. And you set the ground scale like this, and I'm going to have to look up on a map, and I'll have to say, what's the distance from Brandy Station to, I don't know, some town around here, and like St. James Church, and then I have to remove, I can't see I'm setting it because I got my little picture-in-picture over it. So you just do that, and then you set it. So here's the grayscale elevation tab. We can import either a grayscale map, a height map that we created perhaps in Photoshop. That's often how I do it. Or just using the contour tools like we just saw. This is another way you can use these elevation shapers to create hills and ridges, and you can squash them and smush them and create your elevation another way. Next tab is the terrain sets. You can click on this. It shows you all the water, woods, areas, roads, bridges, things like that. And then last of all, validation. Very important thing. This is a little utility thing. It checks, yep, we got a name, we got a description, has elevations, has terrain, ground scale, and places with victory points set. So we're ready to go. Last thing to do is save it all up. And next stop will be the scenario editor. We're going to put everything we just did together. Now we got everything we need. We've got all the pieces. We've got the map. We've got a red army, a blue army. Let's go to the scenario editor and make a new scenario. So here we are. We're going to call this Brandy Station. And we're going to put in the date. And if you want, you can add a colon, and then you can put some text here. Largest cavalry battle in North America. And then we can start adding our pieces here. So we're going to open the map file. And there's Brandy Station, which we just created. And that's, here it is. Pretty amazing, I know. Red Army is going to be the Confederates. You know, it's kind of interesting how the Confederates are always red, United States is always blue, England's red, unless it's in World War II, in which case it's blue, France is blue, Prussia is green. You ever wonder about that? I once saw a list of all the colors. So, okay, we're looking for the Red Army, we're looking for, right here, Army of Northern Virginia Cavalry. You can do that, open it up. And the Blue Army, load the Blue Army, and that will be Army of the Potomac Cavalry Corps for the Battle of Brandy Station. Here's the problem. I don't really know much about the starting positions, and I've tried to find them, and I really don't have a clue. So starting time, we're gonna, I don't know, 6 a.m., number of turns. You know, I'm just guessing here. Let's say 40 turns, visibility 2 kilometers. Okay. These are called the retreat points, and that is which way are these armies going to retreat if they have to. We know that the Confederate Army is going to retreat to the west, and we know the Union Army is going to retreat to the east. So we'll put those guys there. And then now we just, boom, here's our order of battle tables. And unfortunately, I just have not been able to find any starting positions whatsoever. So I'm not really sure how we're going to do this. So I'm just going to, you just click and drag these units and put them wherever you want. Maybe I should take a break here and give one more try at trying to find the starting positions for these units. It's just incredibly simple to put these units in place, so you get the idea of how this is going. You just grab a unit and just click and drag it. Use the scroll button on the mouse to rotate it left and right. You can also right click on it, change it from line to column. This is how you set reinforcement, so it enters on turn, let's say 10, something like that. But that's illegal because we don't have number of turns set yet, so I've placed all the units on the map. They're not historically accurate. We're not going to worry about that for now. But after the units are placed, you can also, as I showed before, have units set as reinforcements. Let's go through the options now. So up here in scenario, we can first thing we can do is edit the victory conditions. So right now there's 80 victory points. We'll say that both sides need to conquer and capture all 80 points. And how many blue units does red have to capture? We'll say, you know, this many, and the same thing here. Can't say 23, you can say 2. Then we'll save that, close it. This is how we set the unit speeds. You can, you know, it's meters per minute. Whatever values that this isn't the default values, obviously. Whatever you feel is appropriate, you can, you know, decide that blue units move faster than red units. That's your decision. Next option is setting the turn time, and this allows you to see how fast, or how far I should say, each unit will move based on their speed and based on the scale of the map. So you can say, okay, I want units to move about this far, so that means we're going to have 10 minutes to turn. So you just save it and close it. Next is the attack matrix, and this is exactly what you think it is. This is for close combat, and this is shows you, for example, light infantry against light infantry 1, light infantry versus infantry is at a disadvantage 0.9. So set those to whatever you feel. And then the piece size. So again, based on the size of the scale of the map, you can see the units getting smaller and bigger, completely, you know, up to you. But that's got to be based on the scale of the map. And then last of all, you save everything. Oh, well, actually we should check. Here's all the places. We can set the values for these here, and we can set who owns them, if they're blue, red, or yellow for neutral. And then last of all is the validation. Oh, we didn't set the name. I thought we set the name for this. Yeah, it's set. Brandy Station. Okay. Now we saved it, and now everything should be... Yeah, there we go. And that's it. Now, one last step. We've created our armies, we've created a map, we've created a scenario. The only thing left to do now is to actually play it. So here we are. We just scroll through, and Brandy Station's right here. We're going to select that. I'll play red. We'll select simulation. We'll select partial fog of war. And I'll play against the AI. And here we are, actually in the game now. So as we move around, you can... This is all the information we've put in. If you you can see how each headquarter controls each unit. We can give orders to individual units. There's the victory conditions that we just created in the scenario editor. We can directly order units to do anything we want. We can order subordinates. Okay, well, thanks a lot for watching. If you have any questions, please shoot me an email.